For those that are familiar with gospel music, I would say that it's a smooth sound. It's a very close, harmonious sound, but it's a very smooth gospel sound.
Today, the famed Roberta Martin singers come together again to sing. Mary Duke Ellington of gospel music was an articulate and highly influential innovator. Before she came along, says Eugene Smith, one of the original members of her group, people equated gospel with blues and jazz. They were used to hymns, but nothing with a beat until we started adding one. Now gospel music is a multi-million-dollar industry, and many of the contemporary singers in that boom got their lessons from Roberta Martin. She was a singer, a pianist, and a composer, and she also went on to found and operate the largest gospel music publishing house in Chicago. When she died in 1969, more than 50,000 people flocked to her memorial service. The heyday of the Roberta Martin singers was the 1940s, when they performed at Madison Square Garden, Carnegie Hall, and then, just before they retired, at Italy's Spoleto Festival of Two Worlds in 1967, an honor traditionally limited to classical musicians. Remarkably, the 9 members of the group reunited recently at the Smithsonian to sing and pay tribute to their old leader at a special conference exploring her music. Eugene Smith, who started out with the group at age 11, brought them all together again, and I spoke with him and with the Reverend Archie Dennis, another member of the group.
I can remember around 1940, we were invited to sing at the White Rock Baptist Church in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was a 30-day meeting, 30 nights, and from the first night through the closing night, there was no available space in that church, which seated around 2,000. I shall never forget it, because at that time it was something unheard of for any group to just pack in people night after night, including Saturday night, for 30 days and nights, 30 nights. That is one thing I have never forgotten.
Well, it's been said that the Martin singers developed many of the gospel music practices that are now in common use. Are there any particular examples of that you could point out to us?
Well, during those days, Mrs. Martin was also a pianist, and a lot of people have copied or tried to emulate her style of playing. You know, a lot of the young people that came up in the 50s, 40s, and 50s, they've tried to copy that Roberta Martin sound at the piano, and a lot of them have tried to imitate the mixed voices and the style. Mrs. Martin had a certain style of writing music. You know, they were songs that are just as real today. She didn't write trendy songs, and they were songs that you could sing 30 years ago, and yet if you heard one today, it's just as refreshing and just as real and just as new today as it was 30 years ago, because it had a message.
Without Jesus,
Mr. Smith, I understand that you developed what's been called the narrative introductory style, which is used today by many gospel artists. How did that come about?
It was just something that Mrs. Martin told me to do, and I did it, not realizing that I was starting something that had never been before. It wasn't like a master of ceremonies. It was a little different from that because it gave the people the message that was going to be sung through the singer. A little bit of the words, a little meaning of what the song was all about. To those of you who might be sick, to those of you who might feel despondent, to those of you that are at the crossing of the road and you don't know which way to turn or in what direction to go, God specializes in the things that we think are impossible. And He can do what no other power. He will do what no other power can do.
Have you any river that you think are impossible? Yes, sir. Have you any mountains that you can't tunnel through? But God specializes in things so impossible, and He will do what no other power, nothing but power can do. Have you any river?
How much would you all improvise when performing, or was it something that was all rehearsed out beforehand?
No, gospel music is inspirational music. And though everyone is aware of the song content, both lyrics and the melody, the lead singer has the most liberty in improvising. Of course, the background would have to adhere to a set melodious pattern, but there would be some improvisation with the lead singer. Occasionally, while being inspired and under the influence of the Holy Spirit, verses have been written and added to particular songs. We've come to realize that eventually the song and the singer must become one. When I was a little boy, my daddy taught me, son, you can sing a lie as well as tell one. You see, actually, when you sing a song, it should actually be you. It should be actually a part of your experience. And the singer and the song should be one. There are certain songs, I can't sing the blues because that's not my experience. I can't sing of a love affair that's grown cold because mine is very much alive and very warm, you see. And so we only sang songs, or she endeavored for us to only sing songs that were a part of our living experience, because what leaves your heart, or my heart, will reach your heart.
I'd like to talk a little bit about Roberta Martin herself, and what was she like to work with for both of you? What do you remember of her most vividly?
Well, Mr. Smith would know more than I, because He grew up with Mrs. Martin and under her influence. However, she was known as the Helen Hayes of gospel singers. You see, she was a great lady, a grand person, and a very, very warm, gracious woman, a woman who loved the Lord. You know, not only did they teach you the Roberta Martin music, but they taught you how to be a Roberta Martin singer. There is a certain lifestyle that goes with being a Martin singer. Mrs. Martin, many years, was in Chicago while the group traveled and carried on her name. And that's unusual. Usually, the person whose name you're carrying is normally accompanying the group. And so she set a standard. And we had a standard to adhere to and to follow, representing her, and most of all, representing the Christ that we sang about.
I tell you one thing, she didn't allow us, you see, at one area that we went through where gospel singing was going into the clubs, into the cabarets and nightclubs. And of course, she didn't like that because she didn't believe that in clubs with people drinking and smoking and things of that sort, that they were listening. It was just more or less a part of entertainment. And she did not like that. She did not come to entertain. She came to help through song. And she did not allow it, regardless of how much money you offered. No.
What do you think was her greatest contribution? She was certainly very important in the publishing field, but what do you feel was the most important contribution she made?
The greatest contribution that Roberta Martin made out of all of her fine contributions was the Roberta Martin Singers. That was the greatest. Because as long as we live, she shall live also.
The Roberta Martin Singers, who came together recently for a special series of concerts at the Smithsonian. Eugene Smith, one of the 4 original members of the group, is now a social service worker for the city of Chicago. The Reverend Archie Dennis travels and sings with other groups, such as the Billy Graham Singers and World Evangelism.
One look at Jesus, for he's merciful. I've tried him and I know he's true. Oh, through storms and through dark clouds, through trials I know he'll lead. I know that he'll lead you safe. He'll lead you safely on through. it will bring you